I'm supposed to make more frequently the videos about the kit and each part individually explaining. But I've been quite busy these days. There's a lot of stuff going on, including looking for the unit and etc., sorting out this warning loom, which again turns out to be way more complicated, not difficult, but complicated than we expected. Okay, yeah. Let me explain the warning loom. Warning loom is finished. The production line is completed. I'm ready to build them. We have ordered loads of stock of new plugs, wires, pins, and everything necessary to build one. I think, and hopefully, by the end of next week, everything's supposed to be here. So I'm gonna make about, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them at once, because we got loads of them ordered. Well, pretty much anyone who's gonna order, who wants to do this conversion, needs the warning loom, because you can do the exhaust or the intake or many parts for yourself. But things like engine mounts, drive shafts, and the warning loom are the necessary. As a matter of fact, we're doing kind of like the basic kit, which is where engine mounts, which keeps the engine obviously in the right position. They include the shifter adapters, so you can change the Volkswagen gearbox with your original Toyota cables. Drive shafts, so you can drive the car, it moves on the power, and the wiring loom, which allows you to start the car, make everything, all the electrics work, and actually drive it. And then the rest, fuel system is I'm not saying it's quite simple. You have to still know how to do it, but you can do it on your own. You can do it on your own. Exhaust, if you fabricate or know someone who can fabricate for you, blah blah blah. All the rest around that, people usually can do it on their own. But these three things are crucial, so everyone needs the warning loom. And we've sold lots of kits now, or just mounts and etc. But with the warning loom, we're kind of behind, because again, I was working on it, so now I have to catch up. Anyways, that is done. Again, probably a week and everything is going to be under production. Again, as usual, bit of delays, but there's nothing you can do. We're on a good path, and then very soon we're going to have everything in stock. So there's going to be no more waiting list. There are a couple of things that there's going to be still waiting list, and this is something to do with the core intake. I'm trying to explain today, because now we have two versions. The previous version was made in stainless, in 3-inch stainless pipes. This is Vr6, nice and shiny, solid. He's gonna be there for over 1,000 years. Not possible to break, blah blah blah, but is a pain ass to build, because you have few elbows, you have to match everything, you have to get adapters, blah blah, go around it, and because it's quite long, it's kind of expensive even on the materials, because we're not using 304 stainless, Vr6, which again is more expensive. All TIG welded, takes some time, so it's not a cheap option. And I was very eager to do something simpler, which is this. I'm going to explain in a second. And then Steve convinced me to have them both available. I wasn't keen, but to our surprise, probably 50% of our customers, they still choose the stainless version, even though we take it up in prices now. Because now, obviously, at the price we're selling them, I'm kind of all right to build them. This is, being sincere with you, because I wasn't really keen before. Now is okay. But also, we have this version here, which I personally prefer more, because it's simple. It's cheaper and it's simple. You say, okay, but this is flexible, it's not stainless, it could wear out. If you have something rubbing against this, it could puncture it. Yeah, that is true. However, it's not very expensive to replace it if you break it. So, positives and negatives, but overall, I think I like this slightly better. Now, before you jump to conclusions, like, oh yeah, but this is, you're gonna have the turbo compressor sucking through the air filter, through this pipe. It's flexible, it will collapse. This will not collapse. Even if you see this is a fairly narrow bend, and it will wrinkles inside, but the shape inside, it stays the same. This will not collapse. It has this stainless wire inside, because this is like a double skin. This is sealed one, because you can have them, you know, for duction for the brakes, for example, cooling brakes down. It doesn't have to be sealed. These are completely sealed. They have is a twin skin, sealing coated, blah blah blah. These are quite expensive, as the induction pipes goes, and they have this reinforcement wire inside. Hence, they don't collapse. You can make the bends, but they will never collapse. It's quite simple. Again, you fix it with these P-clips. Again, we supply the whole thing. This hole there already exists. You put either a nut or one of these inside. There's another P-clip here, which again, it goes into a place that there's a thread there already, so there's no drilling, no tapping, anything. There's another one here, and again, it uses an original hole. There's no, it's not threaded, it's just a hole, so you have to put a counter nut or whatever you want to do it to fix it. And then obviously goes to the adapter. We have to have a joiner. I use a stainless one because it's thin wall. You can have an aluminium, whatever. And so there's going to be 2 clamps here, but that's all there is, and it clears everything. I'm going to put a quarter there, and I'm sure you're going to demonstrate how it fits inside. It clears everything. It clears the reservoir. It clears the tail light. It clears everything. The filler cap, hoses, and everything. Now the other thing, what I can explain. Now the wiring. This is obviously your MAF sensor, which in some cases you're going to use it. If you use the standard wiring loom or the standard ECU, you still using the MAF sensor, which on these engines is actually all right. And the beauty is this sensor here is original. You don't have to modify nothing. Now I know it has nothing to do with the cold intake, but position of the sensor has something to do with the wiring loom. So let me explain. With the wiring loom adapter, which is uninsulated, it's just a bunch of wires here, but this is exactly what you get. Well, no, this is guts inside. You're not gonna see this. It's nicely insulated once you receive it. But the adapter allows you to use untouched wiring loom from the engine or from the car the engine comes from. Obviously, you have to have it intact. No plugs have to be cut, because you literally plug it into the original plugs. You see, these are the original plugs, all of them. That one, everything. Obviously, we supply with the brand new Volkswagen and Toyota plugs. You connect it. There's another plug here which is not connected at the moment. This is the one we were waiting for. This is a Toyota plug which you connect to that. But again, leave everything standard on the Volkswagen side. Yes, the Volkswagen wiring loom is slightly longer because obviously it comes from a different chassis than it needs to be in MR2. However, it's not that bad. I mean, this is not here. This is I put this one here because this is the adapter for the gas pedal, which is obviously this engine is from the front wheel drive engine. Engine is in the front, and the gas pedal is very close to it. In MR2, you have to extend it for clear reasons. Again, when it comes to this part here, the wiring loom actually stays nice and tight. You can put some zip ties and kind of wind these wires behind there. You can make it nice and tight. I haven't done it because for the purpose of illustration, I don't want everything tight. I want you to see everything when it goes. But you can really nice and, position them in a good place, put a couple of zip ties, even here, and it's actually a fairly clean job. It's not bodged. Yes, you do bodge it in a sense of way because they're longer than they're supposed to be, but it's actually coming out good. And the beauty is that you don't have to modify nothing, even that MAF sensor wire. It just happens that comes out of the standard Volkswagen wiring loom in the right position, and there's plenty of that wire to get out and plug into the MAF sensor in this position here. So yeah, that's a bit of a on the side. Anyways, it comes obviously with this bracket here. Again, I could make something custom, I could make something stainless, blah blah, machining, but it would cost quite a lot of money. We're trying to be reasonable. If this thing is available and we can buy it cheap, and I can find a way to bolt to do the chassis in a cheap way, but this kind of cheap way doesn't compromise any performance or any quality, we're using it. Because if I can save some money, you can save some money, You know, the performance is exactly the same. You're not gonna gain anything by machining something CNC, something fancy. We use it. Great. That's what we're gonna do. So, all right, that's how it works. Let me just pause the video for a second. I'm gonna put the quarter on and show you how it looks like with the quarter on, because there's a bit of a trimming to do. Let me just hold on for a second. And a quarter is on. This is, I really like these cars. Even the fact that every quarter is bolted on the chassis instead of part of the chassis, that's great. Actually, this is my old quarter, which, yeah, I did some damage. Yeah, not much, but I did, so I'll replace it very quickly in 10 minutes, so that's good. Anyways, the trimming. I just put it on, sorry, so I have to fill this up because, you know, just because. Anyways, so obviously because that pipe is closed in there, there's not much space. This vent needs trimming like I did. Nothing much. Now, you can comment on this. It may look ugly, it may look good. In my eyes, it look good because it looks modified by nice and tidy. I like it. Someone else may don't have to. Again, it's completely personal, so no comments on that. The way it fits, very clearly, it clears everything. Like I said, it clears. Let me see if I can show you. It clears the tail light. It doesn't touch anywhere on plugs or anything. Let me see it there. Yeah, probably. Let me just remove the tail light so I can show you better inside. I only not even bolted on, just put the screws there so hold it all in place. But this is how it looks like. Plenty of space there. And you can squeeze it in. It isn't in a contact with anything. And before you're gonna ask, remember there is a plastic trim inside inner arch. That inner arch separates completely the wheel, whatever the spray comes from the tire, to the inside of the chassis, especially there and especially on the top here. It's all enclosed here, so this receives no dirt, no stones, no water, and anything. And if you're thinking to remove it, don't leave it there. Also, let me just put the phone there. Maybe I can show you. This is the air filter. You see what I'm saying about the size? This is just the perfect fitment. This is fits exactly as it should be. And if you see that one there, that is a fitment for the plastic trim, what I was gonna say. So that air filter has plenty of space there. It's completely insulated or away from any water spray. But yeah, you have to trim this, and either way, this is this flexible one or the stainless one, you still have to trim it. With the stainless one, you can trim it closer to the pipes because there's no way with any vibrations, any kind of movement, the plastic will damage anything on the stainless. However, it will damage the flexible one if it's in the contact, and it may rub, you know, some vibrations with the wind or whatever. Just don't have this in the contact with this. Get some space. Trim it nicely, take your time. I think that's it. It's quite simple. I like it. I think this explains everything. Is anything else to explain? No, I think that's all. Yeah, it's very simple. Before you're gonna say, if someone maybe commented that why you haven't done it, we haven't brought from the cold intake from the compressor straight through there, because kind of there could be enough space. Actually, on my Frog, on my VR5 Turbo, I have 2 3-inch pipes coming from that into the air filter, because I have the air filter, massive air filter inside the engine bay, because I'm running intercooler front mounted. You can actually see it from here instead of the charge cooler, because again it's a custom made job. In this case we can't do it because, as you can see, this is actually a new mount for the charge coolers, and the charge cooler is here, and we're using a pretty big charge cooler. Now, in and out of the charge coolers are 3.5 inch, and the body of the coil is actually bigger than the 3.5 inch, so it's a big ass one. The reason we're using a big one is because, you know, people modify these engines, and we didn't want the charge cooler to be a limited factor, so it literally comes up to where? Here. Sorry, here. So there is literally no space, no physical space to bring that pipe and go shorter way, go down. But again, this has been tested. We've done the tests. quite extensive test. I think we spent over a week testing all the different solutions. We had a radio on the back, then the charge cooler, then we had different points on where we took the fresh air from. First we had it inside the engine bay and it was awful. And then there was a huge difference between the air filter being inside the engine bay and the air filter being completely outside of the engine bay, hidden inside the panel there. That makes a huge difference. Now, although it is true, like Steve says, that it is more important to have enough air, that not enough but fresh, this is true. So you don't want to restrictive. You don't want to build 800 brake horsepower with a 3-inch pipe as an intake for the turbo. That's regardless. But, you know, it is still better to have a fresh air to the turbo, and then from the turbo obviously with the charge cooler, intake cooler, and, you know, etc., etc. We've seen a drastic drop of intake temperatures, which is actually quite important on the turbo engines. Anyways, I don't want to go into the other stuff. That is the intake explained, obviously part of the wiring loom as well. I think that's it. So yeah, we're going on. Now I have to make some of the, I think 4 stainless ones. I have to be honest, I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know. I'm not fancy making them. I don't like making them. It's a lot of work, and when I have a simple solution, which is this one, you know, I just prefer this for some reason. There you go. I'm not saying that one is not better, made it in stainless pipes, because it's durable. This will live forever. So even though it is more expensive, it's actually not. It's just more work. And that one is a minimal, is probably 1/10 of a job that I have to put into this. So there's no welding, there's no cutting, it's simple. Anyways, yes, this runs. I'm not gonna fire it on because the battery is probably flat, blah blah. I still don't have the belt on the alternator because again I wasn't working on this. Everything was put, all the effort was put on the wiring loom. The frog is collecting dust again. She's pretty much ready for mapping. It's just really the time I don't have. I've put the half of the cage is welded, everything is done, the harness bar and everything. I got my panel done. Oh, sorry, it's dark here. My panel done. She actually drives. It moves. The gearbox shifts and everything. You know, everything is working. The panel is not connected yet. I haven't finished the electrics, but they are completed enough to get it mapped. And so, yeah, it's time. I need a roof as well because now it's raining. So before bringing it to mapping, I need to put a roof on the car. It's time. I can't do everything. Please remember, we have to move the premises and etc. And you know, yeah, I'm trying my best. Anyways, it's very soon we're gonna have enough stock to satisfy everyone, and there's gonna be very minimum or pretty much none waiting time between the orders and the parts getting shipped to you. So yeah, we're improving very fast, but again, it's a lot of work, so be patient. We're getting there. See you soon.